Good evening, everyone. This is the Public Health and Safety Committee meeting for Commissioners for May the 20th, 2024. We will first ask for a moment of silent meditation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please, silent meditation. Can everyone please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Joining us this evening, we have our interim Township Manager, Pat Stasio. We have our Assistant Township Manager, John Bates. We have our Solicitor, Sean Kilkenny. We have our two commissioners under my committee, Anthony Benbenito, and Kip McFarland. Okay, gentlemen, would you please approve the minutes of our April 15th meeting, please?
I have no problems, no questions.
No problem. Ben, same? Okay, we're good? Please make the record stand as passed. Thank you. And during his last meeting tonight, as our police chief, we have Chief Block. Please give your monthly reports.
Thank you, Commissioner Whiting. Good evening. I'm going out for summer recess, so. It's my pleasure to present the April monthly report for the police department. The Upper Moreland Police Department responded to 1,292 calls for service for the month of April. This brings the total calls for service year to date to 5,127 calls. The calls for service between March 2024 and April 2024 indicated a 10% decrease in volume. The monthly police department call volume decreased by 1% between April 2023 and April 2024. Our outlying years on the call volumes, April 2023 was 5157, April of 22 was 4965, and April of 21 was 4581. The following Part 1 crimes were reported and investigated by the police department in April: 1 robbery, 1 aggravated assault, 1 burglary, 28 theft offenses, which were 15 of those were cleared by an arrest. Part 2 crimes that were reported in April of 2024 is 2 public intoxication offenses, 3 narcotics offenses, 4 disorderly conduct offenses, and 35 other crimes, all cleared by an arrest. Patrol Division conducted the following proactive measures: 370 vehicle investigations, 66 hazardous traffic violations were issued, 113 non-hazardous traffic violations, 49 parking citations with 1 warning. There were 5 homeless contacts and 3 DUI investigations, 1 between 7 in the morning and 7 in the evening, and 2 between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. The traffic unit responded for 33 calls for service. They had 8 traffic and parking issues, 2 directed patrols, 131 traffic stops, 73 warnings were issued, 43 hazardous traffic citations issued, and 50 non-hazardous traffic citations, along with 14 parking tickets being issued. Our Detective Bureau, CID, opened up 38 new investigations. They had arrest warrants that were issued. There were 5 arrest warrants, 1 for Megan's Law violation, 1 for firearms violation, 1 for mail theft, 1 for an aggravated assault by a motor vehicle, and the individual was under the influence of alcohol, and 1 aggravated assault by stabbing. They also had 9 search warrants that were issued. 1 was for EMS records, 1 for hospital records, 1 for chemical test results, 2 for phone records, 2 for check fraud search warrants, and 2 vehicle search warrants. 2 items that we wanted to highlight from the month of April. There was a firearms violation at Spring Hill Suites. Officers from the Patrol Division were there on Saturday morning, April 6th. They conducted a vehicle stop on a vehicle after it left the hotel. Officer Moore identified the occupants of the vehicle and found the driver to be wanted. Further investigation revealed that a firearm was recovered from the hotel room where these people had just vacated. So detectives and patrol worked this under the direction of Detective Sergeant Todd Smith. And as a result of that, the individual was arrested for having the firearm, and that firearm has been tied to 3 separate shootings in the city of Philadelphia. There'll be more on it, but it's just another example of the excellent police work that our officers and detectives are doing in the township. And we also had the semi-annual drug take-back, and it was held at the Giant, and it was in conjunction with the food drive. So there was food that was donated that went to the Willow Grove Baptist Food Pantry, and the efforts resulted in 7 police cars of food going over there. So it was a tremendous support and turnout by the public, and 200 pounds of medications were turned in and they were disposed of. So that completes my monthly report for the month of April 2024. And we would just like to remind all our residents with vacation time coming up, if they're going away, to contact the police station or go online if they want to register a house for the vacant house checks. So the police officers will check their houses while they're away.
Okay. Any commissioner comments for the chief?
No, just his last report.
Any,
We're trying to make him feel bad.
any public comments for the chief? Okay. Chief Locke,
Yes, sir.
you've done a crackerjack job here in this district, okay? A little something to show our appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Let's pass it through.
He's right here.
Thank
Okay.
Thank you, crackerjack job. Thank you. Yeah, good job.
Probably a tattoo, chief.
Tattoo. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your years of service, too.
Thank you. It's been an honor to serve here. It really has been.
Chief Glassman?
Thank you, Commissioner. It's my pleasure to present the monthly report of April 2024 for the fire department. There were 103 fire department calls, 71 fire, 32 EMS. We completed 64 fire permit inspections. You can notice I listed the fees we made an adjustment with the fees, and you can see the positive impact that it has had on the fire department. So the difference between this time last year and now, we've had a positive gain of 25,217. And we're really, I mean, this is April, but we didn't really get in gear until sometime in February. So we're doing really well generating funds. We had 8 fire marshal investigations. As you may or may not know, the First Lady came to visit Upper Moreland, and that was a successful event. That was the 21st of April. We attended 4 events with 70 people. There were 24 fire service personnel trained for 228 hours. Our monthly response time was 3 minutes and 33 seconds. It's excellent response time. On the emergency management side, we participated in the Montgomery County monthly meeting and training, the Eastern Montgomery County meeting. We've held several planning meetings with the June Fate people, with Chief Block and Jefferson Health. And last but not least, I want to publicly thank Chief Block for his awesome job and all his help with some of the issues we had in the fire department. He not only made Upper Moreland better, he made me better, and I appreciate your professionalism and how we worked well together, and I wish you nothing but good success in the future.
Thank you, Chief Glassman. That goes both ways. We're working together. It's all about the teamwork and support in the community. That's what we're here for.
Do we have any commissioner comments? Any public comments for Chief Glassman? If not, Ken Davison, please.
Thank you, Commissioner. You might notice that your report looks a little bit different this month. I have mentioned before, it takes us a while to get you hand-calculated statistics for every month. I got a little frustrated and went a different route this month, so give you a graph direct out of the system, and we'll make sure we give you some validated data a little bit later on. But for the month of April, 314 calls for service that Second Alarmers responded to in Upper Moreland Township. 209 of those resulted in transport. 5 of them were standbys. 26 were the patient refused care. 28 of them, they assisted other units. 8 of them were lift assist or public assists. 18 times we were canceled before we arrived. 16 times we were canceled when we got there. Unfortunately, there were 2 patients who were deceased when we arrived. Actually, there were 3 patients who were deceased when we arrived. They're just categorized differently. Naloxone report for the month of April, there was one intervention where naloxone was administered by EMS. My monthly disclaimer, it doesn't mean that it wasn't given by law enforcement or somebody else. It just means that there's only one time that we gave naloxone in the township in the month of April. Staffing, continued to see some fluctuation there. Full staffing for the month of April would be 3,240 hours of ALS staffing. In 2024, we had 3,100 hours as compared to 2,981 in 2023. 77 hours we had a downgrade service to BLS in 24 as opposed to 217 hours in 2023, and 63 hours of complete status drop or downgrade as compared to 42 hours. So again, we continue to see challenges from the current staffing crisis in the EMS in the region. A couple of notable pieces of information. We're in the process of obtaining quotes and proposals for the purchase of 1 or 2 replacement ambulances. You might remember that I reported recently we took delivery of 3 replacement ambulances. It's already time to start looking for 2 more, especially because right now we're looking at an anticipated lead time of 18 to 24 months from when we sign a contract to when they would potentially deliver an ambulance. So if we don't start looking now, we'll be behind the ball down the road. Also something of note, just to kind of keep on the radar, on February 5th, OSHA published a notice of proposed rulemaking. It's going to be the first update to fire brigade standards. I mean, we need to update what we call them, and EMS in 44 years. There was a comment period for the proposed rule. It was set to close May 6th. They got a fair amount of feedback, so they extended the comment period by 45 days. We certainly agree that there's definitely some updating that needs to be done. There's certainly some safety and well-being issues for fire and EMS that need to be addressed. But in the 600 plus page regulations, there are a lot of things in there that will be quite difficult for a lot of agencies to accomplish and keep up in there. So National Ambulance Association, state associations, I'm sure the fire associations are taking a deep dive into this, hopefully providing comment and feedback. It had been quite some time in the making, and now they seem to be moving ahead full steam. So hopefully they will take some of those comments and feedback so that we can get the positive changes that are required out of this type of revision without having some of the additional burdens and quite frankly, unfunded mandates placed on both fire and EMS. Examples of having to have time for physical fitness while on duty, some other things that are great ideas, but maybe not so feasible for agencies like EMS services where the providers are out on the street a lot. So that is my report. I'm happy to take any questions if you have them. Thank you, Commissioner.
Any commissioner comments for Ken Davidson?
None here.
Okay. Any public comments for Ken Davidson? Thank you very much, Ken. We have no old business, but we have some new business, of which I'm going to ask Chief Locke to talk to us about the signals at Byberry and Pioneer Roads.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner. We received a request that came through Commissioner McFatridge to take a look at the intersection with respect to the traffic volumes in consideration for traffic signal to be installed there. So the traffic unit went out and they conducted a crash analysis, and that resulted in a 5-year look back between April 19th to April 2024, and it revealed 9 reportable crashes and 24 non-reportable crashes. As a result of this data that was turned over, the state generally only looks at the reportable crashes for the intersection itself, but in my opinion, between the 9 reportable and the 24 non-reportables, we should submit the request to have them do a formal study there, because they will come down and do the traffic counts and the turning movements during the peak periods to see if the warrants are met for the traffic signal installation. So I would request that the committee approve this and pass it to the board for full approval to send the resolution and the application for the traffic signal request to PennDOT.
Okay, basically this came from me. I gave it to the chief. I gave him the information. His department, like he said, pulled up the crash data. The only problem here is if we go to the state and they come back and say, yes, there is definitely warrantable, you should put the traffic light in, that is at our cost because it's township. So that could easily be 175,000 plus to put one there. Due to, I want to say the area, we have had crashes. This is only what we find out when they actually report it, are these. So I just forward it, and it's up to the board whether you want to follow through and go to this, because if they tell us it, it's our liability then, because they said it's warrantable. So we almost have to do it, or else if there's an accident, they'll come back to us and say, you should have had one there anyway. So do we want to take on the expense?
Commissioner
And the
McFadden.
safety for it?
But the other thing is, the one corner down there is covered by Bryn Athyn. So we requested their statistics. We had not received them by the time our report was put together. So if that goes through, they may bear some of this cost.
Okay. Can we put it all in theirs?
Sure.
But there has been a lot of accidents there, and that's just the reason I had brought it up. I had some residents ask.
Yeah, so my concern too is if there's a traffic signal there, there'll be more cars on Pioneer Road. People on Pioneer Road are already pretty upset about the cut through. But if it's a safety issue, I certainly want it to be looked at. My other question, it's a state road, but this PennDOT doesn't pay for the traffic signal?
We do it. It's our responsibility if we put it in.
That's a shame. Okay, thanks.
So that leads us to, we take it before the board, gentlemen?
I think we take it to the board and take a vote. That way we'll know if we want to spend the money or not.
Comment? Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers, 5 reportable crashes in 4 years. Doesn't seem like a lot. And 9 unreported, 14 crashes in 4 years. How does that compare to other intersections?
No, so there were 9 reportables and 24 non-reportables. And that's on our side, the 2 sides of the intersection we control. We tried to get the data from Bryn Athyn. I'm sure there's more out there. So PennDOT looks at the warrants for the traffic collisions and then obviously the peak periods on that. So
Right.
we're just on the cusp with the accidents. And they normally won't consider non-reportable accidents, which in my mind, I think is why wouldn't you, an accident's an accident. The difference between a reportable and non-reportable is the car, if it's reportable, either someone's injured, most importantly, or the car has to be towed. The non-reportable, people can drive away, but there's still a crash at the intersection.
Right.
It's the ones we know about.
So it's like the intersection of Turwood and what's the other one?
Edge Hill.
Edge Hill there. Everybody complains about that intersection, but honestly, there aren't a lot of accidents there. I don't know. Does your traffic report reflect that this is a serious concern? Or?
On Edge Hill at Tarwood or?
No, on
Well, when we,
Pioneer.
with the 9 reportable crashes over 5 years, I think it's worth PennDOT to take a look at it. I don't know if the data is going to be there to support it. It may not, on the volume side of it.
Okay, this one.
I think move it forward, take a vote on it.
Okay.
I was just going to say, I think it's worth taking a look at if it's a safety issue, for sure. I mean, we have really busy roads. If it could, save one person, I think it's worth looking at personally.
Okay, well, we're going to take a look at it. Okay? Thank you. The other, okay, Ben? Yes. Okay. The next part of our new business is the submission of the State of Fire Commissioner's Report Grant. Chief Glassman, would you please?
So Commissioner Cook last year implemented a fire department grant for just career and combination fire departments. There was a limited number of funding available last year, and we did apply, and 5 departments were selected, and they were just over the $50,000 range. So there is no matching fund whatsoever, and some of the funding can be used to upgrade facilities and/or apparatus. So I'm just requesting permission to apply. The only thing it takes is my energy to get the grant written, and hopefully we get lucky this year.
Well, how does the committee just,
Always go for free money. But who actually is the grantor of this?
The state.
It's the
It's
state?
state funding from the state fire commissioner. So Commissioner Cook was a new commissioner last year, and they gave him a little bit of funding because he knew that there was a lot of funding directed to the volunteer side, and he wanted to direct it to the combination and the career side.
Okay,
So we say, go for it,
absolutely.
go for it,
Thank you.
okay? That concludes all our business here tonight. We wish everyone a good evening and a happy Memorial Day. Thank you.